This is SBDI, an infrastructure that gives you access to Swedish biodiversity data. My name is Debora Arlt. I work with SBDI support and data mobilization. And I present you a teaser for SBDI services and give you some snapshots on SBDI data and tools. And this is how you meet SBDI, with a website that is one main entry to Swedish biodiversity data. This website contains a main page, and from that main page, you get to the tools page, the help pages, and you get easy access to a support form. On the main page, you can find a lot of information. You get some news and events, something about sharing data, exploring and analyze data, access to the tools page and the help pages. Some important content is also highlighted on the center of the page, where you can get some more information about data and tools, courses and training, and ongoing research. At the bottom of the page, you find more about SBDI, about who we are and what we do. Switching to the tools page, there we get access to SBDI data and tools. And on the help pages, you can get information about a broad range of topics. And by easy click, you can ask for my help and contact us using the support form. So let's turn to SBDI services. There's a lot of biodiversity out there, and we collect a lot of data about it. When you share this data to the infrastructure, this data can then be found, synthesized, and analyzed. And by this, it can create knowledge, scientific papers, contribute to nature conservation, to benefits for society, and may also contribute to innovations. And for all this, SBDI provides you tools to share data, to use and explore data, and to facilitate research, both within and extending beyond SBDI. These elements you then find on the main page. Let's start looking at sharing data. On the web page, you can easily have a look at what kind of data are currently shared and published with SBDI. This is data from museum collections, molecular data, citizen science data, data from systematic inventories, biologging data, and also archaeological data. We want to highlight two of those data types. On Wednesday, we have a webinar devoted to the access and publishing of genetic data. And on Thursday, we invite you to a webinar devoted to the access to systematic monitoring data. So how to share this data? For publishing data, SBDI has two main tools. There's the integrated publishing toolkit provided by GBIF, and this is managed by the Swedish GBIF node at the National History Museum in Stockholm. There's also the species observation system, a tool that is developed by SLU Artdatabanken. Data that then comes through the IPT and SOS are synchronized in order that all of the data should be available in the SBDI BioAtlas, which is SBDI's portals to data and tools. So what data can you publish and share? It's biodiversity data, observations of species, or species lists. And this can be from inventories, it can be museum and high barrier records, it can be incidental observations or other. It can come from national surveys, from research groups, from research projects, or other. This data are published using standardized international formats. And by doing this, it can be easily shared, more easily combined, more easily found, and also cited using digital object identifiers. And you can see an example at the bottom for a dataset of the Swedish butterfly monitoring scheme. And more about publishing data and sharing data you can find on the help pages. Once you have shared the data, it can then be used and explored. On the tools page, we find a lot of different tools to use and explore the data. So using these tools, you can get an overview of data providers or data sets. You can explore data. You can search specific data, analyze data. You can also use our tools. And there will be tools that are for specific data types. You can also use data through your own applications using our APIs. I will give you some examples. So exploring data, you could, for example, have a look at where data is coming from and look at some of the data providers. You can look at those data providers on a map. You can also get a list. And for example, we may want to look at what data comes from the Department of Biology at Lund University. And then we get some information about that data provider and the data sets provided. We can also explore data by a tool called the Explore by Region. In that tool, we can, for example, select the region, the county of Dalarna, and then get records for this county. And within this tool, we can then also continue exploring. For example, here we're only interested in the records of insects. You can also more specifically search and filter data. And for this, you can search records with advanced and spatial filters. With the advanced search, you can use a number of different search criteria. And with the spatial search, you could import an existing GIS area, or you can draw a polygon like this one. And then you can quickly look at all of the records from this area. These records are provided to you as a list. You can also look at the records on a map. And you can get some quick overviews about this data, for example, the temporal distribution of the data. And if you then want to access this data, you can simply download it. Searching and filtering the data, you can also use the spatial portal that has additional analysis tools. In the spatial portal, you can add species data, you can add areas, layers, and you can add facet filters. Here, for example, we have added data of hazel, a species of plant. We could then also want to view this together with some environmental information. So here we have chosen a layer, the world climate mean temperature of the coldest quarter. And then the spatial portal also provides a number of tools. So here's an example where we calculated the area and extent of occurrence of hazel in Sweden. More information you find on the help pages, where there will be guides helping you through using and exploring the data. And there are tools for specific data types. Here we have, for example, biologging data tools. And one example there is RAM, the Wireless Remote Animal Monitoring System, which is a database and a portal for biotelemetry sensor data. There's also archaeological data tools. The SEED is a database for environmental, archaeology, and quaternary science data. There are marine data tools, like the Nordic microalgae, that has information about microalgae. And then there are also molecular data tools. There is the Swedish ASV portal for sequence-based observations in SBDI. There's the Baltic microbe for meta-omic data. And there's also an amplicon sequencing analysis workflow. And if you want to learn more about those tools, we invite you to join on Wednesday, where we have a webinar that gives you more information about how to access and publish genetic data with SBDI. There are also R tools. There is the Mirroreum, which is for online R tools. There is the SBDI for R package, an R package which you can use to search and filter and access data through the R environment. And there's a general workflow for the analysis of biodiversity data. And we would like to invite you to join us on Tuesday, where you can learn more about accessing data through these R tools. Let's turn to research now. By using and exploring shared data, we can then do research that creates knowledge and scientific papers, and it can contribute to nature conservation. So SBDI relates to research in a way that it increases visibility of data, also the visibility of research groups and research infrastructures. It gives you fast access to data. For example, one dataset of the Swedish bird survey has received more than 4,800 download events since its data were published on GBIF in February 2020. SBDI also facilitates data integration. It provides a platform for research networks and collaboration, and it also provides training and courses. On the webpage, you can find more information about ongoing research. Let's have a look at one use case. This research is using data of two datasets, long-term datasets. One is from the Swedish bird survey, and the other dataset is from the Swedish National Forest Inventory. Those are systematic data, they are representative, they are collected in the same small geographic units, and this makes it really good for comparison. By combining the data, we can then do correlative analysis that gives results that can be shared by publication, and results that also have implications that may be important for sustainable use of resources. On Thursday, we have a webinar devoted to systematic monitoring data. So please join if you want to hear more about that. Summing up, SBDI gives you central access to Swedish biodiversity data. It allows integration of data and tools. It provides specialized tools for some specific data types. And it facilitates also research networks. So welcome to SBDI. Please have a look, explore, use, and contribute. Thank you.